Hi, Ms. Watson. How are you? We're doing the effectiveness of teams in the workplace using a self-directed approach to in our discussion into this. I'll be doing, as I said, the introduction. Joe will be doing the advantages. Flossy will be doing the disadvantages, and in conclusion, Karamjit will be doing her part in the conclusion to sum up what we think, and I'll be coming in and out to discuss stuff in terms of our findings. Now, why we use a self-directed approach is because we've used a company called Midtown Construction, which is a company that I run with my business partner, and I just wanted to explain first what the team definition is. It's basically anybody that in an organization of 2 or 3 or 4 or more members working together to coordinate tasks, to interact with each other, and to accomplish the best way possible specific tasks. Now, this has been also found to be good in many areas of small business and big business, to coordinate, as what was said, certain tasks, to work together, to inform each other, and to use resources effectively by shared information, but also as a self-directed approach. They have the ability to make, with their expertise, decision making and problem solving, because they'll be the experts in that. Now, Midtown Construction is a construction company, as I said. We deal with many types of jobs. There is 2 members into the team at the current moment, and they have defined job specifications. Roy being the construction manager, I'm being the operation manager, and the project manager for all the specific tasks that we get. Now, Midtown has specific responsibilities in many areas as to conduct and monitor our subcontractors who have the ability to make their own decision because they're the expert in that certain part of the job. We just basically monitor and make sure they follow design, the definition of the scope of work, the timing of the completion, and the quality and sustainability to get the most effective and efficient way to accomplishing the projects. Now, I'll send Joe to give us more of the advantages. He's going to explain all the advantages of the self-directed approach.
Hi, I'm Joe. I will explain our findings of the self-directed teams and their advantages. And according to our findings, a successful self-directed team is likely to boost of companies and their efficiency and productivities. Members of the self-directed teams will have the managerial and technical skills for their jobs and achieve results that will not be seen under command and control approach. In organizations, and the employees will have the freedom and flexibility to develop innovative solutions to business problems, enable a rapid response to challenges. And their members also have, with full responsibility and accountability for their work, tend to have high level of commitment and motivation. The self-directing members are likely to have a high level of certification, which means they have the low turnover for the team. And self-directing we also improve their trust in each other, have better respect other team members within organizations. And we also provide some, as a self-directing midterm building groups have results in the several points: improve quality and productivity and service, and greater flexibility, reduce operating costs, faster response to technical change, fewer and simple job classification, better response to workers' value, increased employee commitment to the organization, and the ability to attract and retain the best people. And I will give some examples why the midterm building group work is effective. And MPG allows their trades teams to apply the best delivery of specific require a tax grade input, and the trade teams have the ability of self-direction to acquire their own supplies as long as they fall into required design specification, quality, cost, and time constraints for successful delivery on projects more effective. MPG have also benefit enable their outside teams more accountability and responsibility by reaching faster and achieving their goals and objectives for their clients. MPG has also been able to successfully build teams within its framework of operation and attracting the best skilled workforce still united approachability of managers and the shared entitlement of success and self-direction allows the members increase the followership in upholding organizational guidelines. And here are all the advantages of the self-directing and how it works in our group. And here I will hand over to the Flossy to explain the disadvantage.
Thanks. Thank you, Joe. My name is Flossy, and I'm going to do the disadvantages of self-directed teams. As it has been said that teams is a group of 2 or more people, and when we look at self-directed teams, it usually consists of 5 to 20 members. And first and foremost, the first disadvantage of self-directed team is that it requires a small group. So I think it will be beneficial to a large company. So it would make it really hard to control the team members. So it's really restricted to small company. The second disadvantage is lack of empowerment. If there is no empowerment from the manager or the person who is above, then this kind of team is likely to fail. This is because the members are supposed to make up their decisions. They have to plan whatever they need to do. And if they're not empowered and given the responsibility to do everything, then this is likely to fail. I can give an example of the Midtown group, which is made up of 2 members.
As the main company, and then they subcontract at certain tasks.
Yep, and this the Midtown group has empowered the subcontractors to be able to purchase the materials and requirements that they need for the company, so long as it meets the standards that is set. So if for this kind of team to work, then it needs empowerment. The third disadvantage is it takes a long time for decisions to be made, and this could be because there is usually a different leader every week, maybe weekly or monthly. Then maybe when the new leader comes in, has to make a different decision and has to follow on what the other leader did. So it makes it really hard. Could you want to say something?
Or it could be maybe sometimes, for an example, different personalities, different values and different cultures and confidence level. Even though given the responsibility and the decision-making authority to them, they might feel uncomfortable to take those steps, depending on the person in the position. So some people can effectively do it, some people can't effectively do it, where we come in and monitor that.
Yeah. Thank you. And another disadvantage is it could lead to low production. At the beginning of the introduction of self-directed teams, the team members have to be really confident with doing this company, so it may take some time for them to get used, maybe training, and this will take this will take time for them to get used to this method, and it might lead to low production. Also, this kind of team requires enough planning. There has to be enough planning for it to successfully work, and a lack of planning will lead to problems, especially trying to achieve, paying attention to detail in their work.
So you're saying basically, from what you're saying, that they've given responsibilities and they can't take those decisions, or they've made mistakes because they're not as experienced in their specific requirement or specialty, that they might lead to delays in project completion.
Yeah, it might lead to delays in project completion, and it could also lead to confusion at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will disorganize all the other members also.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll hand over to Karamjit to do the conclusion. Thank you.
Hi, myself Karamjit. Today I am going to do the conclusion. In the end, we came on this point that self-directed teams are a great approach in building unity, trust, respect, and self-confidence. It has also a cost control, great cost control due to the responsibility in diverse area. And whereas the large teams lead to a loss of the organization's goals and directions, and hard to control and hard to monitor and motivate and minister, and it is also hard to build the trust. Actually, an effective team has some good qualities, such as effective communication and interaction between the all team members, equal involvement of the all team members, focus on the mutual interest and ideas of all the team members, respect and trust between all the team members. But sometimes the work teams become least effective in some companies because of some reasons, as Flossy said, that because of the lack of timing, because of the team size, like the size when the team is too big, then it becomes uncontrollable.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and because of the low production and much more. And so here is some suggestions for those companies who has not much effective teams. They should try to build that trust between all the team members, and they should try to make the meetings as many as possible, and they should listen all the views of the members, and they should give importance to all the members. And
so basically you're telling us from your conclusion, from what we all agree on, I think, is that self-directed approach, it's a very good for effectiveness in organizations, as long as it doesn't get too large, which will make it a lot more hard to control, monitor, and to also basically find areas of issues and problems that you have to catch them before it gets out of hand, or the delays in projects, or delays in what, depending on the type of organization. And this is talking about small and big organization. So what we're saying is, in a small size organization, self-directed teams are very good for motivation, for responsibility, for innovation, for empowerment of team members, and upholding the goals for the team.
Encourage them to get the goals of the organization.
Yes. So basically, once it goes too large, then it becomes a lot more harder and more time consuming for us as any organization to be able to control that.
Yeah.
So it's good in certain aspects in small organisation, but in big organisation it might go out of hand, and people might go onto their own tangents where they take the responsibility to a higher level, which can lead to very bad situations, budget blowouts, low confidence, low morale, infighting, and silo thinking.
While we were sitting on the lounge before we came for the recording, you talked about how expensive it is if one of the team members is not taking responsibility of their work. You gave an example
Of course. So one of the areas we spoke about in our discussions in regards to self-directed teams. So you might have someone that has his own personality and he wants to empower himself alone, and because he's given those responsibility and specifically, and he is an expert in his field as a subcontractor, he might take it out of the definition of the scope, definition of the planned project, and go out of tangent. And that might cost us a big blowout into a budget, which will make us lose a business, and it might even cause big problems in terms of the financial parts of the business.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, I think we all agree small units in self-directed teams, 5 to 10, 15 is a good area, and it's good for everything in terms of innovation, effectiveness, performance, motivation, morale. Once it goes into bigger, larger organisation, less of responsibility to make the bigger decisions, and more collaborative approach where everyone and then passed on to a higher managerial thing, then it's a better way to do like the other approaches into the business. So I think everyone is happy with what we've said, and we will conclude with that. Ms. Watson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.